Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm going to be talking about major religions and the connection with Satanism that a lot of us are aware of. I am not taking God out of the picture. I'm just telling you what major religions, if not beyond, and their connection to Satanism and their um, not being conducive to families and motherhood and what is real in humanity for human beings. So, um, I'm going to start out by speaking about. Well, this is a touchy subject because there are some men out there that have been left alone with their children by poor mothers, and have had to raise their children on their own for various reasons. I don't know if the wife just up and left or if they got kicked out or whatever the reason was. Um for me personally, I had to live about a year without my sons after raising them entirely by myself. And then my ex had married into money, and regardless of the proof that I had of robbing a bank and different documents that were documented that I could prove that this was not a good person for my children to go into that home. It didn't matter. The courts didn't care because they had more money and two figures in that home that I didn't have at that time. So, and this isn't about the pain that I went through with all of that because my kids eventually did come back because they couldn't handle it. It was supposed to be where I could talk to them and communicate, and they did everything within their power to separate me from my children entirely. I mean, like out of the picture, but that's still not the topic of what I'm getting to today. Is how in society, even within science and religions and different things, the mother is not venerated like she should be. Even in um, Christianity, people do not realize the satanic connections within that religion. And, like, once again, I'm not speaking that there is no creator. That's not even close to what I'm speaking about. But some people realize that these conformed religions are not, like I say, conducive to humanity and motherhood. That's why they're coming up with things like artificial wombs and different things that, um, where men themselves can raise children without any involvement from a mother. That's their ultimate goal, is just to have, if even necessary, the women as like breeders. I mean, the looser you are with your moral values away from what a true family is, the more acceptable you're going to be in their society. Bottom line, if you are family minded, you won't be fitting in their society. But here's the thing: the more they water out the nurturing aspect and protectiveness from a mother, the, the more society is weakened. And we all know, okay, we do know some fabulous fathers out there. We really do. There's some that are just phenomenal. So I'm not berating the role of the father, because none of us would be here with both participants. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about whose strength carries that child, whose um, blood passes on that DNA connection, and what are they trying to water out of a system so their lack of moral virtues within this society could be overlooked for their greedy ways. That's exactly what's going on. And any true scholar, linguist, linguist, chronologist will be able to put these things together through societies and different religions that have been formed through the centuries, and they'd be able to tell you the truth of the connection with Satanism in every major religion, just like the Masons who raised me. I'm fully aware of what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it, because Satan is not our mother. He's a rapist and a murderer. If you want to honor that, that's going to be watered out of society. Eventually, there's no way that humanity is going to survive lacking moral values within a family structure. It's just not conducive to humanity. So I just really wanted to speak on this because, like I say, there's a lot of good dads out there, so this really has nothing to do with trying to demean anybody for any reason. But when I hear men overlooking the fact that their partner or wife or whoever it was had that child for them, and the strength that it takes from a woman to carry that child, and that's overlooked in the society, and they think they're doing equal duty and service in that situation when it just isn't true. That's what they're trying to take out of the picture. The reality of what a woman and a mother is and the role that she plays in that child's life even before the child is put on this planet. And without that piece of soul, you have a soulless society. And that's what they're aiming for. There's a lot of us that are like we're in our right minds, and our left ones. We're like probably perfectly balanced within there. We know what's going on. And that's what we're fighting about and against. We're not fighting with the people that don't. Um, I heard somebody say, a Satanist say, well, we're offended by a lot of things too. But you're not human, so we don't care, parasite. You take your little parasitical dead grades and ease on down the road. You're not needed in society or a family structure. So you're worthless, like tits on a board. So, and don't tell me men can lactate. It is not milk. It is not a nurturing substance. And no, it's impossible. So, anyway, and there's a lot more to that too. It's like X is Y, XX, Y. You know, you can talk about what you can change your body into, but you can't change your chromosomes. And you cannot create what God put on this planet. And that's what's conducive to family life and reality and society is the mother's role, which a lot of countries and people of those countries have reverence for the mother and the hard work she does within her body. Like some little bitches out there talking about raising his kids alone. I took my kids to work. I had stitches between my legs and took my baby to work with me. Top that. Anyway, and that's a fact. And then I went to school, and I'd still take my sons to work with me, and I didn't even get a babysitter for my children until they were very old, actually. No help from family, nothing else, no preschools, daycare, none of your bullshit, you know? So, whatever, I had to do it on my own. I was born an orphan and I'll die one, you know? Yeah, I was adopted by Masons. One set that abused me brought me back at 2 weeks old. Gee, I wonder what they did to me. Do you really want to know? And then another family adopted me, but that one, I infiltrated the whole system and decoded their books. And people are like, "Oh, who taught you?" Well, yeah, they took me into the lodge and tried to do a lot of things to me, and when that didn't succeed, and when they couldn't murder me, they had to start teaching me out of fear. That's who taught me. So, and I do probably have more to say on this on another day, but I just wanted to connect with the women out there that have been through pure hell because men don't see the work that it takes out of you to produce a child, and that is not honored or respected by way too many people, male and female, that don't deserve a place on this earth. And that's the bottom line, people. So I'm going to get this uploaded. I love you all. I appreciate you joining me. Peace. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at.